ਤੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਮੇਅਰ ਪੈਟਰਿਕ ਬਰਾਊਨ ਨਾਲ 2-3 ਬੜੇ ਹੀ ਅਹਿਮ ਵਿਸ਼ਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਕਰੀਏ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੀ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਦਾ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਹੈ, ਕਾਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਚੋਰੀ ਦਾ ਹੈ, ਔਰ ਐਕਸਟੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਦਾ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਵੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਚਰਚਾ 'ਚ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਵਿੱਚ. And I have Mayor Patrick Brown with me. As announced, we are going to talk to him about 3 very, very important issues. The first issue is theft of cars in GT area particularly. So in last 9 years, the stats tells us that there is an increase of 300% in car thefts. It's so easy for these thieves to steal a car and take it to the other world, out of our country. So Mayor Patrick Brown is raising this issue for a long time, and now at least our federal government has realized the seriousness of this issue, and they are going to call a summit, and municipal level politicians and police and all those law enforcement agencies will be involved in this. So Mayor Brown, welcome to Radio Parvasi. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on the show.
You are raising this issue for a long time, and you have given multiple, solutions to that. But I'm still not able to understand why the federal government was not acting earlier. But at least they have now woken up.
Yeah, listen, I'm very pleased the federal government has called this summit. As you know, Brampton had been pushing for federal involvement in this auto thefts crisis for the last 2 years. You've seen auto thefts skyrocket across Ontario and Quebec, and we actually had our own summit with Chief Nish and the GTA police chiefs last year. And at our summit, the police leadership across the GTA and Hamilton identified the ports as being the glaring weakness. The Canadian ports are where we're seeing cars exported out of. And so what we're seeing is 80% of stolen cars being sold internationally. This has now become the 3rd largest revenue tool for organized crime in Canada. And it's unacceptable. The system is broken. It shouldn't be so easy in Canada to be able to smuggle out of our country stolen property. Right now, we only have 1% of the shipping containers screened. 1%. For 99% of shipping containers, they just have to sign a piece of paper that promises there's no stolen goods in it. It's called the honor system. The honor system is not working. We have over $1 billion in stolen cars each year. The honor system has failed Canada. We need proper, rigorous screening like they have in other countries. And CBSA needs to be part of the solution. The federal government needs to be part of the solution. So I'm really glad they've come to the table and are going to listen to how they can help.
Okay, there are 2 very important issues. You are already talking about those issues also. And the first one is this extortion. Okay, so Canada is being considered as the heaven for the criminals. It's so easy to bring illicit money here, drugs. We know that everything is going on, and many people are now complaining that our laws are too soft, particularly regarding these habitual offenders. And you have now raised this issue, which is concerning South Asian community. You and Mayor of Surrey, both have written to the Federal Public Safety Minister. Tell us about that.
Yes, we wrote the Public Safety Minister asking for his involvement with the extortion threats we're seeing against South Asian business owners. We've seen it across the Lower Mainland of British Columbia, in Edmonton, and of course here in the GTA. And so this needs to be addressed. Our law enforcement have, in their investigations, discovered that these extortion rings are outside of Canada, in India. And so we're going to need the cooperation of law enforcement in India to make sure we can apprehend the individuals behind this and shut it down. We don't want to see Canadians being terrified by these vicious extortion attempts.
Okay, and last one is students' issue. Today, Minister of Immigration has announced that they are going to put cap for 2 years at least on the number of study permit issued by the government of Canada. Okay, so I was raising this issue with every immigration minister whenever they were coming to our studio or our office. Wherever we have chance, we were telling them that this system is not working. They were not listening. And now we are at a stage where it is collapsing. And now, again, a federal government has realized that, and you wrote this again to to the federal government. You have raised this issue that there should be a condition while they're coming here, their accommodation should be granted, and particularly people who are studying in far-off colleges but living in city like Brampton, Surrey, which are getting overcrowded. So tell us more about that.
So what we really wanted to see was that international students coming to Canada, there was a plan for housing. Because what we've seen far too often is, 16 students living in basement apartments in unsafe conditions. Our colleges and universities need to have a plan for housing. And before the federal government, stamps another visa approval for all these international students, we want to see as a component for the approval process a plan for housing. And so, if 16 people use the same address for a basement apartment, that would be a red flag. But if there's a plan for housing, then we're not going to see the crisis exasperated like it is right now. So I'm encouraged the Government of Canada is looking at ways to improve their visa approval process. People who have dreams to do well in Canada, we want to see their success. We don't want to see them taken advantage of. And the way the system's set up right now, it is contributing to the housing crisis, and it's taking advantage of international students at the same time. So it's good to hear the new minister, Mark Miller, is taking this seriously.
Okay, and all these colleges, many of them are struggling, even though they are getting so much admissions from international students and they are making a lot of money. But whenever we talk to them, they are telling us they are struggling. But now, with the cap of at least a reduction of 50% study permit visas, do you think that it's going to be a challenge for them as well?
Yeah, but their finances shouldn't be on the backs of unsafe living conditions and international students. That's a conversation they can have with their provincial regulatory bodies, but we can't continue to see them subsidized by allowing students to be taken advantage of.
Okay, thank you so much. Our federal cabinet having their retreat, and I'm sure all these issues will be discussed at that level now. We are also approaching our member of parliaments, even our provincial minister and MPPs, and I'm showing now they have woken up. And thank you, Mr. Brown. Keep it up, and please keep raising these issues.
Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you. जुड़े हुए हो तुसी रेडियो प्रोग्राम प्रवासी दे नाल।